Alright, I'm a bit swamped at the moment, so I'm not going to be able to do a full review of anything this week, but I may as well talk about something I'm playing, so let it be Judge. This game isn't actually new or anything. It came out last week to zero fanfare as far as I know. I mean, of course Jim Sterling played it. He plays everything. But I haven't seen any real videos aside from a couple of other channels and maybe a couple of LPs, and that's ridiculous because Judge is really good. Maybe it's because it's not a AAA game and we're nearing the big holiday season. Maybe it's because it's another twin-stick shooter in a market where the control scheme is a dime a dozen. Maybe people only have time to cover one game a week and midterms are around the corner. Who knows? Let me repeat though that Judge is good, and that's not because I have a soft spot in my fat for those top-down shooters or anything. It's very much its own game, having what I consider a better mix of twitch and tactical than Solstice Chronicles, that's for sure, mostly because it's less tactics and more twitch. That's not to say you don't have to think before you act. Your Android Peacekeeper chooses from a variety of body and weapon mods that make handling the various scenarios easier, and if you don't, you die, or at least restart a lot. The city of Edinburgh is broken up into districts, and each one has a series of missions that range anywhere from simple to really difficult, especially if you're playing the hardcore sets. Each mission has 3 objectives, a main one that you have to complete and 2 others that you're at least gonna want to. And that's because knocking them out gives medals that you need to unlock every mod and firing mode for your sweet weapon of justice, the gavel. Its standard fire mode has infinite ammo, but you still need to reload it like 10 Tons previous games, Crimson Land and Neon Chrome. You also get limited access to some really powerful special weapons, a melee attack that can be upgraded a ridiculous number of times and be charged for my favorite move. Anyway, the AI in this game is no slouch and is definitely improved from Neon Chrome, because in that game the sentries were super dumb. Everyone still pretty much walks in the shots, but they can see you through windows like in Hotline Miami, hear you when you burst through walls like RoboCop, move to your position when you fire your weapon, and their line of sight is pretty far, so invest in that Chameleon mod post-haste. Grouped up together, these dudes put up a fight, and if you have to forego killing anyone or not take damage, you're gonna have a hard time. At least the really tough guys don't come back when you kill them. A lot of the game's elements carried over from Neon Chrome, which actually released on the Switch alongside this game and has been out for at least a year on PC. The UI, the control scheme, and the presentation are almost exactly the same, but the levels are all original, upgrading is different, and it's more a straight up shooter than a roguelike. Between the 2 games, I feel like I like Judge more because I don't have to devote as much time to concentrating on staying alive as long. On a side note, I think Neurovoider is better than Neon Chrome, but I like sprites more than polygons, the gunplay is faster, and you can play with up to 4 players, so. Obviously, with Judge, 10 Tons is trying to go for a futuristic Judge Dredd meets RoboCop aesthetic. All the enemies are basically punk rockers, everything happens at night, and unfortunately, it all starts to look the same after a while. I mean, there are a lot of other games that don't really diversify background assets, but you know, it's a negative. It still looks well enough, and I haven't experienced any glitches or slowdown on PC. I'm just hoping the Switch version is solid because I'm buying that eventually. On the audio front, every track is banging, at least for me, but I actually like EDM, so if you don't, you're gonna have a hard time listening to it. In any case, my favorite track has actually been playing as backing audio, and I'm looking forward to listening to the whole soundtrack on its own in my car. Some of the songs are pretty short though. I know this isn't like most of my other videos where I get journalistic and put on the voice, but this is a good change of pace. Seriously though, if you like twin-stick shooters, get this game. It's a good mix of hardcore shooting and strategery. It looks fine enough, is on everything that matters, has couch co-op, something I'm glad is actually coming back, has an awesome soundtrack, and you play a freaking robot Judge Dredd. What more do you need? I mean, if you're looking for another Twitch shooter to play, there's always... Actually, I'll get back to you on that one.